Barry Mitchell. On our last program, Emerging Issues in Asset Risk Management, we learned that one of the critical issues facing businesses is access to talent. Now, since COVID, remote work and remote workers has been a sore point, should we say, to many companies, but actually remote work is perhaps a savior in this case in managing risk.
It's a good point, Brian. Realistically, when you think about the days of old of a plant manager walking around a facility, utilizing a stethoscope to listen to a piece of equipment operating and running, touching it with their hand or something of that nature, that's not being utilized anymore. We don't do that. There's a lot of technology out there. Along with COVID, it's kind of forced it to even move away from that even further, and it's catapulted us into even much more efficient technology that provides us with 24/7 monitoring of all of our critical components and assets, which is a huge advantage to many, many organizations.
And this actually is your area of specialization, Andy. Maybe tell us about, this is about sensors, I'm guessing, and the Internet of Things. I mean, are we there yet?
We are there, and we have to be there, because I completely agree with Barry. Gone are the days where we had the general manager that could open up his office door and tell you by the way he felt the plant running what was wrong. Now we have a wide variety of sensors that can be remotely operated. Really interesting acoustic sensors, really interesting sensors for gas monitoring that are worn, even cameras that are worn by workers. So we have a really big cornucopia of IoT connected devices that enable remote work to happen. They enable us to actually monitor, measure, and manage those activities. And we have to because of the lack of resources, qualified resources, to be able to do that. Real-time condition monitoring, we can do that now on almost every single component in a factory. With very, very specialized tools. So again, across the world, there's just a wide variety of sensors to be able to enable this type of activity. Right down to telemetry and remote management. How fast is something moving? Is it generating errors today, right now? Looking at trucks, haul trucks, for example. How fast is it moving? How much weight does it have on it? Are there any errors that are coming from the Modbus of the vehicle? Is the vehicle talking to me and telling me what's wrong? So we have a really massive tool set to be able to leverage at our fingertips today.
One of the ideas that I love around this real-time tracking of the environment that we're operating in is that it removes risk management from a spreadsheet in an office to actually really what's happening on the ground right now, enabling people to make real-time decisions and perhaps even predicting what's coming next.
Absolutely. You see even remote worker management. And I think 10 years ago in the movies, you'd see those blinking red dots like in a science fiction movie. Today, that's a reality. We've got this device in our pocket that's usually a phone that can give you that sub-millimeter accuracy now, which is amazing. All the new phones that are coming out have GPS built into them where we can send messages via satellite even when we're outside of cell phone coverage. So you have that combined with things like Starlink, SpaceX, to be able to connect assets any place, planes, trains, automobiles above the Arctic Circle or in Antarctica. The cost for access has come down so much, and the utility of all of those pieces for a business are amazing. I think it's a game changer.
Yeah, it is a game changer for sure. Now, Anne Chalmers, you've got decades of experience working with risk and risk management. I'm just wondering, as you look back over your career, how might have technology changed some of the outcomes that you experienced? I mean, I'm thinking sort of some of the disasters. Bhopal comes to mind. More recently, Red Hill. What would the game changer technology have been for those situations?
Well, Brian, I believe that the technology that we have today, and definitely what Andy referred to earlier, and the sensors and the types of industries that they could play a big role in, for sure, some of those devastating losses around the world would have been avoided.
Yeah. So how do you think that tech can make a difference in that moment, that one moment where once things can go one way or they can go the other way?
Well, you've got advance warning in certain cases, and it allows you time to mobilize. And so let's say there was even a portion of a disaster, it may not be as large or as widespread with the technology that we have.